Good afternoon, good morning, good day from wherever you're joining from. You're welcome to another live show or webinar from Cloudplex. As always, I'm here, David, and I'm here to share with you the good news of AI this time around. Thank you for waiting and joining us at this time of the day. We have viewers from all over the continent and beyond, and we're glad to share with you the interesting story of a healthcare tech startup out of Namibia, scaling with the help of Cloudplex, so leveraging on AI technologies to the world. It's not every time you hear the story of people who are scaling startups out of a country like Namibia. We do know that we have some countries that you will likely hear of when you hear of a unicorn coming out of Africa. And Namibia is not one of the top two. It's not one of the top three, not even top five countries where you hear that from. So this startup is an outlier, and we'll be keen to hear how Jessé is doing this with the help of AI and Cloudplex. So in a moment, we would invite Jesse to the stage. But before then, I'd like you to share in the comment section where you're joining from, introduce yourself, and how what you're looking forward to on the webinar. Thank you so much for coming on board. We are Cloudflake, so somewhere down in the session, you get a chance to learn about how Cloudflake so helps companies that are leveraging different technologies to scale to the world. In the meantime, let's just have some music and settle in till the 10, 12, the 12:10 or 11:10 if you are in GMT. So this is a CloudFlexo live webinar with patient care, JC of patient care. We'll go live again in 2 minutes. All right, here we go. So, thank you. So, Jesus' journey is an interesting journey. a few things about Jesse before we invite him on. Jesse describes himself as an accidental entrepreneur. We'll get to hear a bit of that. Aside that, Jesse has been privileged to do a couple of things. He describes himself also as a solution-driven entrepreneur, a multiple award-winning entrepreneur, a chief visionary officer, founder of Patient Care, also doubles as the founder of Nikki, and a board of director of the Global Africa Leadership Council. Jesse has been privileged to be involved in a lot of innovations after graduating with from a computer science background. Um, while we were preparing for this chat, Jesse had shared a couple of things with me about that journey, and I couldn't imagine how tough it could have been starting patient care and how the story went and how it's come this far. I'd like Jesse to just be free with us and share a lot about this. Meanwhile, if you are not too busy, can you welcome Jesse Liula? I'm not sure I'm pronouncing the name well, but Jesse Liula out of Namibia to share with us his story. Jesse, bringing you on in a second. Yeah, hi Jesse, how are you doing today?
Good afternoon, David. I'm well, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How would you describe your journey so far with patient care?
How would I describe it? I mean, it's been rough, hey, to be honest. From losing co-founders to begin with. However, before I even jump into that, let's start with where it began. I started the journey by observing doctors, and I noticed that in Namibia they had no telemedicine tools or any digital tool, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. And in that, I also noticed that pharmacies could take on prescriptions and deliver them via a WhatsApp message sent from the patient itself. So in that, I created the entire ecosystem and putting it all together into one tool. And this all happened in 2021. And during that period, I was running my first startup, so I wasn't really too invested in patient care. And come 2024, 7th of June, that's when I decided to launch Patient Care. And then I brought in some co-founders, friends of mine that I figured would be nice to help. And as you know, investors are always saying you must have a co-founding team. so, so with that, I was like, cool, I'll find some co-founders. And 6 months later, they left me. Well, one got a job, the other went back to school. I don't blame them. They in their own path. So with that, I then asked my wife, that's a doctor, to join me in this path, because I'm business and tech, and she's medicine. So I figured it makes a good team. And the journey's been crazy. I mean, uh, in December, I had an angry employee write some angry stuff on LinkedIn, which was unfortunate. But we went over that hurdle. We struggled with some bugs and features when we started the whole thing because obviously different devices, different phones. Connecting with Nigerian doctors, healthcare workers was also a huge obstacle. I mean, I come from Southern Africa and Nigeria is very different. We're all African, right? That's our common denominator. But the reality is how business is done in Nigeria is very different to Southern Africa. And when I say Southern Africa, I mean Namibia, South Africa, Botswana, etc. So that was also a huge learning curve for me. And today we're happy to say that we've closed some deals with huge insurance partner. There's an insurance partner at the value of 1.2 million, and that comes in as revenue.
Interesting.
That comes in as
Interesting.
revenue for patient care, which is really cool,
Yeah.
Namibian. And we're also busy closing a deal with an insurance company in Nigeria to actually have that actual successful launch in Nigeria.
Fantastic, fantastic. I was going to ask this next question, which is that I mean, we hear of the big four of Africa. We have Nigeria, Egypt, Kenya, and South Africa, where we usually hear a lot of tech solutions come up, and the next unicorn coming up from these different countries. And we do not hear of Namibia that often. No disrespect to Namibia, but it's not that big of a country.
Of
So, I
course.
mean, startup Namibia, what's bringing these two together? How much of the tech hub has contributed to this journey, or why did you choose Namibia?
Well, uh, I was born here, right? So it's not by choice. My parents got me here. So I was born in Namibia, grew up in South Africa. So a startup like Patient Care out of Namibia, and that's also part of the journey. One thing I've learned from my first company is that uh, you need a huge market, and that's a no-brainer to any entrepreneur out there. And Namibia is not the biggest market, 3 million people, but you'll be surprised to know that there are billion-dollar companies in Namibia. They're just not spoken of, and also in the NSX. The beauty about it is, with that, I figured we'll start in Namibia as a pilot. We'll scale it into South Africa and jump into Nigeria, and that's the strategy that's currently working for us. Using Namibia as a testing grounds, getting the blueprint right, which is the go-to-market strategy, and then replicate that in South Africa and Nigeria, and that's what we're currently doing, and it's working well. So on the path to unicorn, I started talking to huge companies like Flutterwave, as an example, as for partnership, and we realized that we can potentially become a unicorn only if we step out of our country, which is scaling into the big four or the big five in Africa, and that's what we're currently doing, and it's working well. I mean, a good example is Namibia and South Africa are the same country. Just a few years ago, they used to be called Southwest Africa, but now due to independence, it became its own country. So what happens in Namibia works in South Africa as a ripple effect. So I then decided focus Nigeria and let's get it into that stage, because you can only become a unicorn company when you have a lot of users, and solving a huge problem. I mean, over 90% of Africans are uninsured. So that alone speaks a huge opportunity, and also a problem that we're solving for the continent.
Fantastic. So, how do you describe patient care to someone who's hearing about it for the first time? What's the solution patient care provides?
Right. Very simple. You'd like to connect with your doctor, but you're too busy. Maybe you're in office, maybe you're at the farm, maybe you're running a small business, and if you leave your business, it will close. But you need healthcare. One can simply download Patient Care, iOS and Android, find a doctor online, connect with them, talk to them 15 minutes to 30 minutes, get the prescription. Prescription is sent to your location, desired location. And at the same time, if you are feeling distress, especially entrepreneurs or corporate workers, usually there's a lot of stress that comes with this. They can also then log in, talk to our AI at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then later on find an actual therapist in the day to assist them. So our AI also assists them in dealing with certain mental what's the right word for that? Certain mental difficulties when therapists are sleeping, basically. Hi, David. I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry.
Hello. Oh, there we
I was
go.
saying that's such an inspiring story about how you started and what patient care is doing and has been doing. By the way, has AI been a part of your vision of patient care before, or did you just stumble on it across the way?
Right, good question. Just to go back to the other question, I forgot to mention that there's also insurance coverages that Patient Care provides, and we'll be providing in Nigeria with one of the biggest Nigerian companies, which is really exciting for us. And yeah, I stumbled. It's really funny. I've been stumbling on these things like a small child in a shop. You know, you're just curious, playing around, and you find some interesting stuff. So yes, we did stumble into AI. We got into there because, well, firstly, the world started driving into the AI space, but then also learned, as an entrepreneur, and also observing other colleagues of mine in the entrepreneurship world. I also learned that you deal with a lot of stress, and you deal with so much in life, and the support after hours isn't really there, or if it is there, it's quite expensive for anybody. So we stumbled upon AI by observation, and we then built, and we are building a tool for therapy, pregnancy care, and symptoms diagnostics in AI. Our first model is our therapy, and then we'll be pushing on to pregnancy care and and the symptoms diagnostics. Sorry, I keep getting that wrong. The pregnancy case, because I realized that first time moms have a lot of questions. Sometimes experienced mom would laugh and be like, "No, you don't need all that." But new age moms want to make sure, and because the internet is at their disposal, they have so much to search and so much misinformation. So bringing AI into that space can also assist them. And with the symptoms diagnostic, we're not replacing the doctor. However, before you contact the doctor, you would then do a symptom check with the AI, and the AI would then translate that to the doctor, and the doctor can then assist you properly instead of wasting 5-10 minutes asking you questions to try and understand what's going on.
Great stuff. So let's dive in a bit into what the AI architecture looks like. I mean, without going too deep into the weeds, what does the AI look like under the hood?
Right. That's a good question. Thank you. Before I start, I'd like to also thank Cloud Plexo for helping us set up our AWS. We did next to nothing actually. We brought in our server engineer, and he communicated with your organization, Cloud Plexo, and the entire thing was sorted out for us. We also got some credits to help us test and implement what we're doing in the AI space, which is it's taken with a lot of gratitude. So I really hope you and your team know how much you mean to us. So what we're doing is we're using LLMs, specifically OpenAI. We have played with Claude and the others, but we found OpenAI to be quite resourceful in terms of affordability and also in terms of implementation, speed to implement, and and with that, also being on cloud on AWS, we're utilizing tools in AWS to achieve this. So it's been an interesting journey for us. We're looking at launching our full AI by Q3 or 2 of this year. The only reason we haven't launched it is because we've been in a lot of testing, and obviously you need to train the AI. Many people have this misconception that AI will take over the world, like these movies you watch, Terminator and that Will Smith movie. I forgot what it's called, but nonetheless, that's not the reality. The reality is that systems take instructions. They're better listeners than some human beings, unfortunately. So, so by giving instructions to the system, which is the AI, the program, and training it, it can then achieve the goals and tasks that it needs to assist the problems you're trying to solve in the community.
Great stuff. You said systems. Can you say that again? Systems are sometimes are better listeners than humans. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Because you tell the system do A B C D F G, and it will do A B C F G as long as your instructions as long as you instructed it properly. Sometimes you'd give it the wrong instruction and expect a certain result, but because your instruction was wrong or flawed, you would not get that result. But if your instruction is accurate, you'll definitely obtain the result you're looking for. And hence I say systems are better listeners. With humans, there's a lot of other factors. I mean, we have senses, we have emotions, we have conscious, we have a spirit, so uh,
Fair argument. I think I'd agree with you partly because you know that humans also can be distracted quite often. You have bills, you have family, you have
of
um,
course.
games, you have football to watch. I mean, stuff like that. So, I mean,
Yeah,
systems sometimes can be better listeners. I quite
but
agree,
they
but
but
not
they
totally
can't
though.
replace the human being ever. That's a fact. Uh, yeah.
Fantastic. So, what specific AI solutions are proven effective in the African markets? And how do you know whether a particular AI solution is better for what you're building or not? Or do you just try and rake in bills or not? Or, I mean, how have you been able to run through these decisions?
Um, Could you repeat the last bit of it? I heard
So
what solutions I've seen in Africa. I was just trying
yeah,
to
so
understand the
what
last bit.
solutions have proven more effective for the African market, and how have you been able to come to these conclusions? Have you been guided through somewhere? Did you do research? Did you do try and error? How were you able to arrive at the best AI solution for what you're building?
Right. So that's vague and very hard to answer, right? Because there's so many founders doing really cool stuff. I've seen in Nigeria, South Africa, and Kenya to be specific. Really cool stuff in the AI space. One thing I do know for certain, it's not easy to find an AI engineer in Africa. And what we did was we looked into GitHub communities for this, and that's how we found our guy in Kenya. His name is Peter. He's a fantastic guy, and he's built a few tools himself, and he's built tools in the health space. So
Mm,
by showing this scripts of his on GitHub, I found interest in him. We communicated, and we now work together, which is a blessing for patient care. In terms of other things in Africa, I mean, my man, there's it's incredible what Africa is doing. To be honest, I mean, you wouldn't even think that Africans manufacture cars, but we are in the space. You look at what Rwanda is doing with robots since 2018, 17. Quite cool stuff. And then you look at what Nigerians are doing. I mean, Nigeria is like the giant of Africa in technology. I mean, one should just be honest with this. The number of unicorns coming out of Nigeria and the knowledge alone from Nigerian engineers, it's not what the stigma says about Africa. You know what I mean? This is the common stigma. So I've seen some really cool stuff, and I can't pinpoint and mention them one by one because there's so many. I mean, I'm part of a community in South Africa that deals with AI and engineers and entrepreneurs, and almost every other week you see a founder putting up a problem or a solution to a problem, and sooner or later they've raised a few million US dollars, and you're like, wow, this is impressive, you know. It's quite different in Namibia raising that kind of money because, well, again, the investors look at the market size, but I urge investors to rather look at what is the founder building and where's the founder taking this founder could be from Zimbabwe, or even, let's mention another country that's small and not so well known for investment, Mozambique. This founder could be from Mozambique, and maybe this founder's plan is to get into Kenya and the east of Africa, the eastern strip. So investors should also look into that because the amount of work coming out of Africa is tremendous, and the sheer knowledge and the will to continue persevering. You know, Africa is such a hard place to to do anything in. So I imagine and know that the entrepreneurs in Africa are thick-skinned type people. You know, be it male or female. If they're really driven or passionate, they will get the job done, and they will achieve. I'll just dive off a bit from the question. With my first startup, many were saying that you're not investable, it's not going to scale, you're doing too much, you're building a super app, so many stuff. 4 years later, we're going through a merger and acquisition with the largest company in South Africa, a telco company. So imagine how much an investor would have won if they just looked into that, right? It was really hard for me to get there, and that's the only reason I launched Patient Case, because of that M&A that's coming through. So with that said, yes, there is a lot of great stuff happening, especially in the AI space of Africa. Maybe we should get some of these entrepreneurs in Cloud Plexo and have you guys help them set up the infrastructure.
Sure thing. And I'd like to just point out here that while Flexo has a global presence, we also have presence all across Africa. We're in Nigeria and in Rwanda, Nairobi, in Kenya, across South Africa. You can see we've served different markets, and Namibia is a market we served, as evident in Jessé's account here. So we do serve different companies across different zones and across different jurisdictions. We're getting to the elephant in the room now, which is cost. But before we get to cost, I'd just like to remind viewers that we have the comment section. If you are watching on LinkedIn, It's somewhere at the right or left of your screen. You could just type in your questions there. If you're watching on YouTube, we're also live on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, the question box is somewhere around the video. You could type in your questions. We are seeing them live here, and we will do justice to them. Right. So now to the elephant in the room. Yeah, everybody wants to know how, because everybody knows that when you mention AI, they're always looking at the cost. I mean, we know that AI platforms, they charge per token. Whatever it has to do with AI, you have to pay through your nose if you're not careful, and if you do not know what you're doing, you are basically, you are just better off gambling your money away. So how do you balance AI implementation with costs and ROI, especially when scaling in this kind of African market where the money is plenty? Let's not say that it's not plenty.
No, it's plenty. I mean, we are less than 12 months and we have 1.2 million on the table from a partner. So, yeah, the money is, it's just accessing it, right? So, the elephant in the room, how do you
Balance
navigate?
cost with
How do you navigate that cost area, that financial
of
landscape?
AI.
So,
Yeah.
firstly, get an AWS partner like Cloud Plexo. Number one, that's the first thing I will mention because cloud costs are very expensive, and when you don't have credits or even someone that would assist you in paying this, you will go through some headaches. Secondly, yes, the tokens are also very expensive, but now you need to be resourceful, right? Firstly, the rather let me go back to the first point. The credits will expire from AWS, so that means that you're building on a time frame. You do not have 5 years to build. You have to build in like a few months. Test, build, and launch in few months before the credits expire, or even run out. So that's the first thing that one should consider. The second one is that while you're testing, you don't really need a lot of money. You could test with a small group of 10, 15, 20 people, and you would spend a total of 25 to 50 US dollars per month on 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 your LLM model. Could be OpenAI, for example. So the initial stage of starting is not that expensive compared to when you scale or when you launch officially. And I believe when you launch officially, that you should by then have the right partners, you should by then have investors, and you should by then have paying customers to continue carrying that cost going forward. Are you still there, David?
Yeah, fantastic. I mean,
Yep.
you quite addressed it. We know how cost can be an issue to many startups, and I was going to leave that to the end, but since you have plugged us, CapEx so definitely helps with cost, and it's always
Yes,
good
sir.
to take things step by step. And you mentioned credits. Last year, reInvent, which is AWS's event, the CEO announced over $1 billion in funding in credits for startups that leverage different technologies, and AI is one of these major technologies. So they're looking to see how companies are building innovative solutions with technologies like AI. And so one of the very fastest steps to accessing such and innovating with cost control is to work with an AWS partner, which CloudPlex is here to help with. Shortly at the close of the session, we're going to have some time to show you how we are accelerating AI innovation for you. So just stick around till that part. One major question that people like to ask when they hear that you're using AI, especially for solutions like healthcare, where people think that any margin for error means that you are misleading people, right? Because if you
Mm-hmm.
misdiagnose, you have missed out on solving the solution, right? And with AI and LLM platforms, we know that there's a lot of hallucination. You ask A, the AI platform is giving you B. So for patient care now, how is it looking to solve these solutions? Are you replacing humans totally, or are you having some professionals to assist with the AI so that we give accurate responses to questions? How are you going about reducing the margin for error and hallucination with your AI architecture?
Yes, sir. Good question. Firstly, you can't replace humans. I keep saying this. I'll say this until the end of time. You cannot replace humans. However, because we're in the health space, I mean, giving a wrong diagnostic or the wrong medication is it's someone's health, you know. You can't mess with that as well. So you need to be very critical. So yes, you must work. You can't even go around it. You must work with industry players. You must work with the healthcare professionals. You must work with the doctors, the nurses, etc. So for us, at this stage, we're doing the therapy. So we're working with therapists, and I'm blessed to have a group of therapists that are providing knowledge, that are helping us train our model, that are also testing. So you must have the industry players involved. I mean, uh, a great example is I'm a computer scientist. What am I doing in the medical world? Like let's just let's
I
just
mean,
be
what are you
honest
doing?
with ourselves. Let's just be honest with ourselves, right? But the fact of the matter is, computer science is a study of solving problems, and I think I found a problem in the medical world, but I'm not a doctor. Luckily, my brother's a doctor, my wife's a doctor, aunts are doctors, best friend's a doctor. So I've got this network of people around me that can actually help me like build the right tool and get the right solution out to the people. I mean, just getting the wrong medication could be someone's whole entire existence. You know, they could be unalived, and you do not want to get this. So you want to make sure that they do get the right medication. And the reason I bring up medications because a couple of years back, I went to a doctor I do yearly screenings. So I went to a doctor and I told the doctor about my anxiety due to entrepreneurship, and the doctor she opened her tablet, went onto Google, and started looking for medication. And I found that very shocking. I was like, "Aren't you supposed to know everything?" It's like, "Yes, I'm human. I don't know everything." Right, and again, that's where AI comes into the space, you know, because now the doctor can ask the right question, find the right medication, and assist you with their own knowledge as well, not just taking the AI's knowledge. So yes, humans are not replaceable, and how we built it is by working with professionals in the industry.
Great, great. So I have two more questions. Maybe I'll make them two in one, but not after making the presentation. I'll just give you a hint. It's about the plans for the future, right?
Okay,
But this is the
sounds
point
exciting.
where I can see a question. I can see a question from Kingsley. Yeah, Kingsley says, how does Cloud Plexo help startups? What are the charges like and in what denomination? So I might just throw that back to Kingsley. What country are you in? Depending on the country you are in, we are willing to work with you and hold you by the hand to know how what problems you have. If you have problems with billing, we can work with you on how we can possibly help you remit your AWS bills in local currency. With regards to how we help startups with AI, I'm sharing my screen in a second, and just I'll just leave you on for a while to confirm that you can
No
see.
worries, sir. I'm right here. I'm right here.
Can you confirm that my screen is up?
Yes, I can see it. It's up.
Okay, all right. So here we have the Cloud Plexo acceleration um, service, which is how we accelerate companies that are which is how we accelerate companies that are leveraging AI to scale. And we starting from the major challenges that companies face when trying to leverage AI. One of the major things is cost, which I mentioned as the elephant in the room here. We have infrastructure, right? To build robust AI solutions, you really need compute, like a lot of compute. If possible, servers, storage, and different things connecting to each other. How do you navigate this? There are also, we have a lot of unstructured data, particularly in Africa, where we do not collect data in a structured way. Right, this is a major problem, and we have in larger organizations, it's very unclear how to go about this. So if you do not start from a very robust strategy and connect your AI solutions to your business goals, you're just going to end up building what nobody can use. And then we have the expertise gap. And you know how scarce it is to find very solid engineers that can help you build what you need to build for the future solutions, right? And so, how does CloudPlexo help with transforming businesses with AI? We start with an AI readiness and assessment strategy, right? This starts with an in-depth evaluation of your current processes. We look out for opportunities where you can really leverage AI in finding solutions to your existing problems, things like scattered data, things like very mundane tasks that need to be repeated, and stuff like that that really takes up from your productive hours and help you automate them and find solutions to this. And then we help you with a customized adoption plan to leverage AI properly for very good productivity, right? So what we have next here is your technical infrastructure. We start with a customized design, which involves your infrastructure setup. Now, thankfully, as an advanced AWS partner, we have robust knowledge and expertise in the infrastructure that will power your artificial intelligence to help it to make it scalable, right? We come in with a lot of optimization depth and expertise, and then we help you integrate your pipeline into your existing um, um, infrastructure and help everything work seamlessly together, right? And then to your solution deployment, we go end to end. So we have a robust team from engineers to full stack developers to technical solutions architects, certified ones, to AI and ML engineers, and then to IoT engineers, regardless of what you're building. So this robust team helps you integrate whatever you're building together and make sure that we do not leave any stone unturned. If you have need of model training within the AWS ecosystem, you already have AWS Bedrock and SageMaker that can help you with your model training and validation. And then with production and monitoring, we help you as well with that. With we find that with enterprise organizations and with organizations that are very conscious of governance, risk, and compliance, there's a strong need for things like guardrails, for ethics, for bias detection in AI. We help you draft a very solid approach to make sure that we mitigate fallbacks of the current models in the market, and you put a layer on this that helps your organization stay relevant and compliant with data and governance and risk with regards to AI integration. So why partner with Cloudtech? So as I said earlier, we have a robust team of solutions architects, developers, engineers that can help you with every step of the way with your AI development. And we have done over 200 projects in the AI, DevOps, cloud, and technology space in general. As a matter of fact, we have helped over 700 companies with different kind of solutions, ranging from IoT to AI to migration to cost optimization to many of this. And we've worked across different industries, so we have industry depth and expertise. So the next steps, we know that every company has a very different need, and we'll be willing to talk to you one-on-one to understand what you really need and to tailor our solutions to your exact problems. The simplest way to reach out to us is to simply scan what is on your screen or go to the link bit.ly/cloudplex. So bit.ly/cloudplex. So, or you can simply reach out to us via contact@cloudplexo.com. The link will show on your LinkedIn chat in a second. You can simply go there. If you're watching on LinkedIn, also you find the link somewhere on our page. Anyhow, you reach out to us, you can go to our website. Anyhow, you reach out to us, we're always willing to have a chat with you first to understand what you're building and how we can take it from here to here, whatever point A and point B mean to your organization, and tailor this to your specific. We usually say that one of our unique proposition is customer obsession, which means that until we find out that we have understood what you need, we will not take the next step. And so we're inviting you to have a chat with us at Cloudtech, so I'm willing to help you take your AI journey to the next level. That's it. And so we come back to Jessé now, and we ask for his plans. Jessé, are you still with us?
I'm still with you, sir.
All right.
Yeah, I'm here.
Give me a sec.
No worries. While you're doing what you're doing, can I answer Kingsley's question?
Yes, you can, please.
Mr. Kingsley, hi. Can you assist? Can you still assist pre-launch with? Yes, yes. So before we launched, Cloudplexo assisted us with setting up and everything. So I urge you to contact them because we were pre-revenue and pre-launch when we joined Cloudplexo and help, and they assisted us by onboarding entire tech ecosystem in the cloud in the AWS, and we didn't do much. And it also didn't take a long time. I think it took about 3 days, especially after they had all the
Thanks.
information they needed. Then the engineers got to work, and after that, it was done. Um, yeah. So, what was your question, David?
Yeah, fantastic. I like how you are becoming a spokesman for Cloud Tech. So
You should hire me.
we think about it. We think about it. So
Yes,
next,
sir.
I'm bringing one of our senior AI and ML engineers just to assist with the questions and to give some insights as to what we're doing with regards to AI. And with that, I'm inviting Akim. Akim is one of our senior solutions architects with over 7 years of experience developing robust applications in AI technology and ML and IoT. Akim will just share a bit. Akim, how are you doing today, first of all?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Doing great today. Thank you very much for inviting me.
By the way, I like this your background. I do not mind whether it's real or not.
Yeah. Well, the world is revolving around AI. I think it's same with that of Jessé. So can actually tell, okay, we actually make use of the services.
Oh, that means I'm the odd one out.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of.
So, Akim, first, I'd like to ask you, what are the key studies you are seeing in the AI space generally? What are you seeing people building? So, just give us an insight into that.
Well, in the AI space of recent, mostly, I think most of the use cases or the case study that I've been seeing so far has been around generating stuff. So this could be generating text or images or videos. And to move further in advance to that, is building agents around all of this. That is, building agents to help in developing, in actually setting up automations, like building agents to help you perform some certain tasks. Like this could be generating maybe a particular document that which is still under generative AI text, right? This could be also generating maybe a particular material, maybe for marketing or for business or stuff like that, like maybe presentation slides or documents, different kind of things. So you can actually build an agent around all of this kind of stuff. So what people are actually doing right now with AI is actually making automations, right? So people now understand the manual process that the way you actually handle LLMs, leverage on LLMs to do stuff, to generate text, to generate documents, to generate images, videos, and the likes, right? Now people are now going into the advanced area whereby you actually build, you train an agent, right, to help perform these tasks. So you can have several tasks to do, and then just as a particular trigger or maybe a particular notification or something, the agent knows what to do. It knows what to generate. It knows what the end point, that's the end goal of that process itself, and it can actually you can actually train the agent to understand each point and what it needs to do at each point. So these are actually things that people are trying to build around generative AI, AI currently, which is agent basically.
Great stuff. So, AI agents, technology leaders have been describing this year as the year of agents, and we're excited for what we're seeing in the market, and we're looking to support a lot of these solutions. Just scanning through the question session if we have any more questions that we've not taken care of. So I think we're taking care of Kingsley's questions. Are there any other questions that we've not taken? So I think we can then pass it back to Jessé and ask what is in the store, what's in store for African startups, particularly regarding patient care or in healthcare generally. What's in store for patient care
our
for the
main
future?
our main our main mission, and thank you, David, for having me back, and Akeem, thank you for that great knowledge share. It's always nice to learn and hear new things. um our mission is simple. We want to have more insured Africans. I mean, Trump came into the picture, cancelled US aid, a lot of Africans are going to suffer. That's even that even fuels me much more, because our mission, and it has been and will still be, is to get a larger group of Africans insured. Just to shock everybody in the room right now, Nigeria is at 97% uninsured market. 97. That's a huge opportunity, and patient care won't solve it by itself, right? So we need a lot more like industry players and entrepreneurs coming to solve this. Namibia is at 84, and South Africa is at 82. Um, Now that's still huge in all areas. I mean, the giants of Africa, Nigeria and South Africa, little Namibia, still huge numbers. So what we're looking at doing is closing that gap by building technology such as patient care with artificial intelligence to assist. And the main reason why there's so many uninsured people is because of the cost to insure someone. So what we're doing is we're partnering up with health insurance companies and coming up with um, low cost insurance plans. In Namibia, we started with students. In Nigeria, we're about to finalize our deal with a huge insurance partner on that side, and we're creating white label products. And this will also be for the students, at least for our first 2 years, and thereafter we'll bring in other areas. But now insurance is not just seeing a doctor and getting medication. Insurance is also your wellness, your mind, your therapy, your body. So with that, we're bringing in spas, we're bringing in therapists, they're bringing in medication, generic medication at good costs, and obviously doctors at good costs as well. So we're trying to revolutionize the ecosystem by reducing costs for the patient, and that's our main mission. So what Nigerians, Namibians, and South Africans can look forward to is insurance packages that make sense. The one we're launching in Namibia, and this one I can share because we've got the license recently, which is pretty cool. We're doing this at 150 Namibian dollars per month, um, which is the same. It's 150 South African or rands, so, and which is about equivalent to about $7 US. Still extremely high for Nigerians, but extremely low for the Southern Africans. And in Nigeria, we're looking at 250 to 1,000 naira. So one should understand what we're coming up with, and we should be seeing the Nigerian scale towards Q3, because again, paperwork is the biggest hurdle in entrepreneurship. We want to get it done right now, but then, well, we don't dictate the policymakers, we don't dictate the ecosystem, right? So we have to play by the time. But that's what everyone should look forward to, is a more insured Africa, and that's our vision and mission for Africa, with maybe scaling into other third parties, other third countries like Brazil, South America. So we're starting in Africa, and eventually we'll move into out of Africa, especially with our huge partnership with Flutterwave. So again, it takes a village to raise a child, and also if you want to go far, go with a team. If you want to go alone, go. If you want to go fast, go alone. And I'm always about the team, right? So build a strong team, get the right partners, and also make sure that you're solving the right problem. And for us, it's really getting everybody insured. Well, at least 10% of the huge problem.
Great stuff. Great stuff. So build for the right people, go with a team, work with the right partner, and solve solutions for the continent. Those are the
Yes,
four
sir.
takeaways that I got from you there.
Thank
Right.
you. Thank
So
you.
there's this popular saying these days that if you're working in tech or you're doing anything very stringent or very hard, you most likely need therapy. So maybe people should go straight to patient care for that, right? Shameless plug. So here's where I ask you what your advice is for entrepreneurs across Africa, or people who are building solutions for healthcare, or who are trying to leverage AI. What are your words for them?
Okay, so thank you for that question, Mr. David. If you're an engineer like myself and you are in the computer science world, or even any other business world, and you're not in the healthcare world, First things first, find doctors or healthcare professionals and talk to them. Build relationships with these people, and try and understand what's the biggest headaches. The health industry has got so many problems. I mean, from billing to insurance to medication, even manufacturing of medication in Africa. We haven't seen that. I mean, COVID-19 came, and I was quite shocked to see that Africans aren't creating a vaccine. It was, yeah, I was hoping I'd see some more of this, but now we're in a new age, and we might see more of this. So the it's simple from my understanding. It's very simple. Find the right people, and talk to the right people and solve the problems for the right people. Like an example is, let's say I want to get into the AI space. The first person I'll talk to is Mr. David. He's in AI. I'll be like, man, how can I integrate, or what kind of AI tools can I bring in to solve a health insurance problem? And maybe the man has seen some stuff out there and understands how these things are built. So I'll talk to him, and the data I get from him, I'll then implement it into my business model and see how that can work. I mean, I got into the therapy simply because I believe that every entrepreneur should have therapy, and I have a therapist for the past 3 years now. But my biggest problem is, sometimes us entrepreneurs, we work at night. We're night owls. You find us programming or reading or researching at 3 in the morning, and maybe the day before or 2 days before, you had stumbling with your employer or your colleague or even just a business partner, and you're stressed about this. Who's going to talk to you at 3 in the morning, right? So that's why we came up with the therapist for after hours. Not replacing the therapist. I need to put emphasis on that. So again, it's community. You talk to the doctor, you talk to people like David, you talk to the engineers, and you put the community together and you make it happen. That's what we're doing, and that's my philosophy for life. Working together and solving problems for the community, to build a healthier community. That's how we got to patient care. Accidental entrepreneur. I'm not a doctor. Far from this industry. I have worked in hospitals. I have worked with laboratories. I have worked with blood donation companies. These are the biggest ones in Namibia and South Africa. But that was during my consultancy years, when I just graduated from university. So through that experience, I understood a bit about the market. But again, while going into patient care, I needed to find the doctors. I needed to talk to the insurance people. I needed to talk to the customer. And by hearing those problems, we then created the solution that we're currently scaling up throughout Africa.
Great stuff. Great stuff. So with a few more seconds or minutes, I'll just display the QR code or the link where you can ask your specific questions to Clarplexo. And I think we're done with this section. I want to appreciate Jesse for taking the time to share from his wealth of knowledge the ups and downs of building patient care and scaling it out of Namibia. Jesse, I want to say that we wish you all the very best, as we always do at Clarplexo. We hope to be here when you become a unicorn, right? And when you scale to $1 billion, $10 billion, $100 billion. I would point out to one of these times when we shared about how you um, scaled out of Namibia. Your story has been inspiring. I want to thank you for coming for to share with us this, and we wish you all the best in the future.
Thank you so much, Mr. David. Thank you so much, everybody in Cloudplexo. It's an opportunity. And I'm highly grateful, for having me on your screen, on your show, and the support that you're providing. Again, I only know what I know. So thank you a lot for the support, and I will see you soon in Nigeria for sure.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Cheers. All right, you heard it, guys. That's Jessé, the founder of Patient Care, building and scaling healthcare solutions straight out of Namibia, leveraging on AI and working hand in hand with Carplexo. As you've heard, CloudFlexo is an advanced AWS consulting and technology partner. We've been around for a while, and what we do is basically help companies with their cloud infrastructure. We're a cloud native company that provides cloud infrastructure services to businesses, to the most ambitious businesses, and we've done this to over 700 of them. We serve different cadres of clientele, from enterprise to public sector organizations to SMBs and startups. Regardless of how large or nimble your organization is, we're willing to talk with you, sit with you, and understand what you're building and take it to the next level. I'm going to share again the AI acceleration service, which is what Jessé and his company were a beneficiary of. And that's how we're going to round off this session. If you have any questions, you can still reach us via what you see on your screen, and we'll be willing to take what you are building to the next level. Thank you very much for joining us on this session. To come your way again, we have more sessions coming up for the AI master classes and webinars. Look out for your emails where we would share more feedback and our upcoming sessions with you. And we are willing and happy to have you join us on our future sessions. Thank you for joining us. Do have a wonderful day. But meanwhile, check out the slide and book a call with us if you have any specific questions with regards to AI.
Welcome. Yeah.